Nicosia is the capital and largest city on the island of Cyprus, as well as its main business center. It is located near the center of the Mesaoria plain, on the banks of the River Pedieos. Nicosia is the capital and seat of government of the Republic of Cyprus. It is the southeasternmost capital of the EU member states. The northern part of the city functions as the capital of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, a disputed region recognized only by Turkey, and which the international community recognizes as Cypriot territory under Turkish occupation, and has done so since the Turkish invasion in 1974. Through the years, Nicosia has established itself as the island's financial capital and its main international business center. The city was ranked in 2012 as the fifth richest city in the world in relative purchasing power. In the past few years, Nicosia has seen remarkable progress regarding its infrastructure, with the most remarkable being the central Eleftheria Square currently in progress. Landmarks. Ledra Street is in the middle of the walled city. The street has historically been the busiest shopping street of the capital, and adjacent streets lead to the most lively part of the old city with narrow streets, boutiques, bars and art café. Copyright S. The street today is a historic monument on its own. It is about 1 km long and connects the south and north parts of the old city. During the NIK-ə-SEE-ə struggle that ran from 1955 to 1959, the street acquired the informal nickname the Murder Mile in reference to the frequent targeting of the British colonialists by nationalist fighters along its course. In 1963, during the outbreak of hostilities between the Greek and Turkish Cypriot communities, following the announcement of amendments to the Cypriot constitution, Turkish Cypriots withdrew to the northern part of Nicosia, which became one of the many Turkish Cypriot enclaves which existed throughout the island. Various streets which ran between the northern and southern part of the city, including Ledra Street, were blockaded. During the Turkish army invasion of Cyprus in 1974, Turkish troops occupied northern Nicosia. A buffer zone was established across the island along the ceasefire line to separate the northern Turkish-controlled part of the island, and the south. The buffer zone runs through Ledra Street. After many failed attempts on reaching agreement between the two communities, Ledra Street was reopened on April 3, 2008. To the east of Ledra Street, Fanor Omni Square was the center of Nicosia before 1974. It hosts a number of historical buildings and monuments, including Fanor Omni Church, Fanor Omni School, Fanor Omni Library and the Marble Mausoleum. Fanor Omni Church is a church built in 1872 in the stead of another church located at the same site, constructed with the remains of Lefkoşa Castle and a convent. There rest the archbishop and the other bishops who were executed by the Ottomans in the Saray Square during the 1821 revolt. The palace of the archbishop can be found at Archbishop Kyprianos Square. Although it seems very old, it is a wonderful imitation of typical Venetian style, built in 1956. Next to the palace is the late Gothic St. John Cathedral with picturesque frescoes. The square leads to Anazagoru Street, another busy shopping street in the historical center. The walls surrounding the old city have 3 gates. In the Kyrenia Gate, which was responsible to the transport to the north, and especially Kyrenia, the Famagista Gate, which was responsible for the transport from Famagista, Larnaca and Limassol and Carpazia, and the Paphos Gate for transport to the west and especially Paphos. All 3 gates are well preserved. The historical center is clearly present inside the walls, but the modern city has grown beyond. Presently, the main square of the city is Eleftheria Square, with the city hall, the post office and the library. The square, which is currently under renovation, connects the old city with the new city, where one can find the main shopping streets such as the prestigious Stasakritas Street, Themistokli Dervi Avenue and Makarios Avenue. Nicosia is also known for its fine museums. The Archbishop's Palace contains a Byzantine museum containing the largest collection of religious icons on the island. Leventis Municipal Museum is the only historical museum of Nicosia and revives the old ways of life in the capital from ancient times up to our days. Other interesting museums include the Folk Art Museum, National Struggle Museum, Cyprus Ethnological Museum and the Handicrafts Center. Nicosia also hosts an Armenian archbishopship, a small Buddhist temple and also the Maronite archbishopship and convent. Cyprus is the second most important country for the Maronite people worldwide after Lebanon. During the Pope's visit to the island in June 2010, the pontiff resided inside the convent. History. Ancient times, Nicosia has been in continuous habitation since the beginning of the Bronze Age 2500 years BC, when the first inhabitants settled in the fertile plain of Mesaoria. Nicosia later became a city-state known as Ledra or Ledi, one of the 12 kingdoms of ancient Cyprus built by Achaeans after the end of the Trojan War. Remains of old Ledra today can be found in the Iaia-Paraskivi hill in the southeast of the city. We only know about one king of Ledra, Ονιζάgoras. The kingdom of Ledra was destroyed early. Under Assyrian rule of Cyprus, Ονιζάgoras was recorded as paying tribute to Assyrian of Assyria in 672 BC. Rebuilt by Lefkoşa, son of Ptolemy I around 300 BC, Ledra is described as a small and unimportant town, also known as Lefkoşa. The main activity of the town inhabitants was farming. During this era, Ledra did not have the huge growth that the other Cypriot coastal towns had, which was primarily based on trade. Roman and Byzantine times. In Byzantine times the town was also referred to as Lefkoşa and also as Kallinikaisis. In the 4th century AD, the town became the seat of bishopship, with Bishop Saint Triphilius, a student of Saint Spiridon. After the destruction of Salamis by Arab raids in 647, the existing capital of Cyprus, Nicosia became the capital of the island around 965, when Cyprus rejoined the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantines moved the island's administration seat to Nicosia, primarily for security reasons as coastal towns were often suffering from raids. Since then it remains as the capital of Cyprus. Nicosia had acquired a castle and was the seat of the Byzantine governor of Cyprus. The last Byzantine governor of the island was Isaac Comnenus, who declared himself emperor of the island and ruled the island from 1183 to 1191. Medieval times. On his way to the Holy Land during the Third Crusade in 1187, Richard I of England fleet was plagued by storms. He himself stopped first at Crete and then at Rhodes. 3 ships continued on, one of which was carrying Queen Joan of Sicily and Berengaria of Navarre, Richard's bride-to-be. 2 of the ships were wrecked off Cyprus, but the ship bearing Joan and Berengaria made it safely to Limassol. Joan refused to come ashore, fearing she would be captured and held hostage by Isaac Comnenus, who hated all Franks. Her ship sat at anchor for a full week before Richard finally arrived on May 8. Outraged at the treatment of his sister and his future bride, Richard invaded. Richard laid siege to Nicosia. Richard finally met and defeated Isaac Comnenus at Nicosia. Richard became ruler of the island but sold the island to the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar ruled the island, having bought it from Richard the Lionheart for 100 gold Byzantiums. Their seat was the castle of Nicosia. On Easter Day on April 11, 1192, the people of Nicosia revolted and drove the Knights Templar off the city. Having driven the Knights Templar away, fearing their return, the Nicosians demolished the castle of the city almost to its foundations. Guy of Lusignan, king of Jerusalem, bought Cyprus from the Knights Templar and brought many noblemen and other adventurers, from France, Jerusalem, Tripoli, the Principality of Antioch and Kingdom of Armenia, to the island. Guy shared the land he had bought among them and Nicosia became capital of their kingdom. He imposed harsh feudal system and the vast majority of Cypriots were reduced to the status of serfs. The Frankish rule of Cyprus started from 1192 and lasted until 1489. During this time, Nicosia was the capital of the medieval Kingdom of Cyprus, the seat of Lusignan kings, the Latin Church and the Frankish administration of the island. During the Frankish rule, the walls of the city were built along with many other palaces and buildings, including the Gothic St. Sophia Cathedral. The tombs of the Lusignan kings can be found there. The first Lusignan castle was built during the reign of King Henry I, 1211. On seals of the king and his mother Alix in 1234, a castle with 1 or 2 towers is depicted surrounded with the inscription Civitas Nicosia. The exonym Nicosia appeared with the arrival of the Lusignans. The French-speaking Crusaders either could not, or did not care to, pronounce the name Lefkoşa, and tended to say Nicosia, translated into Italian and then internationally known as Nicosia. In 1374 Nicosia was occupied and ravaged by the Genoans, and in 1426 from the Mamelukes of Egypt. In 1489, when Cyprus came under Venetian rule, Nicosia became their administrative centre and the seat of the Republic of Venice. The Venetian governors saw it as a necessity for all the cities of Cyprus to be fortified due to the Ottoman threat. In 1567 Venetians built the new fortifications of Nicosia, which are well preserved until today, demolishing the old walls built by the Franks as well as other important buildings of the Frankish era, including the King's Palace, other private palaces and churches and monasteries of both Orthodox and Latin Christians. The new walls took the shape of a star with 11 bastions. The design of the bastion is more suitable for artillery and a better control for the defenders. The walls have 3 gates, to the north Kyrenia Gate, to the west Paphos Gate and to the east Famagusta Gate. The River Pedieos used to flow through the Venetian walled city. In 1567 it was later diverted outside onto the newly built moat for strategic reasons, due to the expected Ottoman attack. Ottoman rule. On July 1, 1570, the Ottomans invaded the island. On July 22, Piraeus Pasha, having captured Paphos, Limassol and Larnaca, marched his army towards Nicosia and laid siege to the city. The city managed to last 40 days under siege until its fall on September 9, 1570. Some 20,000 residents died during the siege and every church, public building, and palace was looted. After its siege it was reported that the walls were ruined and Nicosia retained very few inhabitants. The main Latin churches were converted into mosques, such as the conversion of St. Sophia Cathedral. From 1570, when the Ottomans took over Nicosia, the old river bed through the walled city was left open and was used as a dumping ground for refuse, where rainwater would rush through, clearing it temporarily. Nicosia was the seat of the Pasha, the Greek archbishop, the dragoman and the Cadi. The Palazzo del Governor of Venetian times became the seat of the Pasha, the governor of Cyprus, and the building was known as the Konak or Seraglio. The square outside was known as Seraglio Square or Seraunu, as it is known to the present day. The Serai was demolished in 1904 and the present block of government offices built on the site. When the newly settled Turkish population arrived, they generally lived in the north of the old riverbed. Greek Cypriots remained concentrated in the south, where the Archbishopric of the Orthodox Church was built. Other ethnic minority groups such as the Armenians and Latins came to be settled near the western entry into the city at Paphos Gate. The names of the 12 quarters into which Nicosia was originally divided at the time of the Ottoman conquest are said to be derived from the 12 generals in command of divisions of the Ottoman army at the time. Each general being posted to a quarter. That quarter was known by his name as follows: 1. General Ibrahim Pasha. 2. General Mahmud Pasha. 3. General Arkavat Pasha. 4. General Kaukal Effendi. 5. General Arab Ahmed Pasha. 6. General Abdi Pasha, known as Chavush, from which rank he was probably promoted. 7. General Haydar Pasha. 8. General Karamanzad. 9. General Yahya Pasha. 10. General Daniel Pasha. The names of the generals in command of these quarters have been lost. 11. Tofin, 12. Nebet Kane, meaning police station or quarters of the patrol. Later the number of neighborhoods was increased to 24. Each neighborhood was organized around a mosque or a church, where mainly the respective Muslim and Christian communities lived. British administration. On July 5, 1878, the administration of the island was officially transferred to Great Britain. On July 31, 1878, Garnet Wolseley, the first High Commissioner, arrived in Nicosia. He immediately established a skeletal administration by sending officers to each district to supervise the administration of justice and obtain all possible information about the area. Garnet Wolseley immediately established a post office at his camp at Kyko-Metokai Monastery outside Nicosia. Garnet Wolseley lived at a monastery camp until a prefabricated residence had been built for him near Strovolos on the site of today's presidential palace. The old Ottoman administrative headquarters was replaced in 1904 by a new building containing law courts, the land registry, and the forestry, customs, and Nicosia commissioners' offices. Adjacent was the Nicosia police headquarters, while opposite were the general post office and the telegraph office. A Venetian column, previously in a fenced courtyard near the Serai, was restored on a new site in the summer of 1915 in the middle of Serai Square. The Nicosia column was presumably erected in compliment to the reigning Doge Francesco Donati about the year 1550. Just after the British occupation, a municipal council was constituted in Nicosia in 1882 for the general administration of public affairs within the city and for a certain area without the walls, under the presidency of a mayor. The first municipal offices were in Municipality Square, but in 1944 the offices were transferred temporarily to the Davila Bastion, and in 1952 this was made permanent with a decision to renovate the building. At the time of British administration, Nicosia was still contained entirely within its Venetian walls. Although full of private gardens and amply supplied with water carried to public fountains and aqueducts, the streets remained unpaved and just wide enough for a loaded pack animal. In 1881, macadamized roads through the town were completed to connect with the main roads to the coastal towns, but no roads were asphalted until after World War I. A series of openings in the Venetian walls provided direct access to areas beyond the walls. The first opening was cut in the Parfos Gate in 1879. The Limassol or Hadizava opening, now Eleftherios Square, linked the city to the government offices in 1882. An opening was made at the Kyrenia Gate in 1931 after one of Nicosia's first buses proved too high to go through the original gate. Many more openings followed. During the post-war period the villages around Nicosia began to expand. By 1958 they had been engulfed in suburbia. Only Strovolos and Aglonja maintained separate physical identities, chiefly because of intervening state-owned land. By this time, the old city was increasingly given over to shops and workshops. Originally aligned with the walls, the municipal limits were extended in June 1882 to a circle drawn at a distance of 500 yards beyond the salient angles of the bastions of the fortifications. In 1923 the municipal limits were extended further and this new area was divided among several of the existing intramural neighborhoods. In 1938 the boundary was extended to the present limits in the west and to the boundaries of Aomaloites, Palaiotissa, Ｋ'aImakE and Amorphida. In 1944 the village authority of Aomaloites was absorbed, then, shortly after independence, Palaiotissa, Ｋ'aImakE and Amorphida were annexed to the city in 1968. In 1955 an armed struggle against the British rule began, aiming to unite the island with Greece, Enosis. The struggle was led by EOKA, a Greek Cypriot nationalist military resistance organization, and supported by the vast majority of Greek Cypriots. The unification with Greece failed and instead the independence of Cyprus was declared in 1960. During the period of the struggle, Nicosia was the scene of violent protests against the British rule. Independence and division. In 1960 Nicosia became the capital of the Republic of Cyprus, a state established by the Greek and Turkish Cypriots. In 1963, the Greek Cypriot side proposed amendments to the constitution, which were rejected by the Turkish Cypriot community. During the aftermath of this crisis, on December 21, 1963, intercommunal violence broke out between Greek and Turkish Cypriots. Nicosia was divided into Greek and Turkish Cypriot quarters with the Green Line, named after the color of the pen used by the United Nations officer to draw the line on a map of the city. This resulted in Turkish Cypriots withdrawing from the government, and following more intercommunal violence in 1964, a number of Turkish Cypriots moved to the Turkish quarter of Nicosia, causing serious overcrowding. On July 15, 1974, there was an attempted coup d'état copyright attack led by the Greek military junta to unite the island with Greece. the coup ousted President Makarios III and replaced him with pro-Enosis nationalist Nikos Sampson. On July 20, 1974, the Turkish army invaded the island on the pretext of restoring the constitutional order of the Republic of Cyprus. However, even after the restoration of constitutional order and the return of Archbishop Makarios III to Cyprus in December 1974, the Turkish troops remained on the island occupying the northeastern portion of the island. The invasion was given the code name Operation Attila and included 2 phases. The second phase of the Turkish invasion was performed on August 14, 1974, where the Turkish army advanced their positions, eventually capturing a total of 37% of Cypriot territory including the northern part of Nicosia and the cities of Kyrenia and Famagusta. The fighting left the island with a massive refugee problem. Out of a population of 600,000, an estimated 200,000 Greek Cypriots had been uprooted and forced to flee south of the Attila Line, while an estimated 60,000 Turkish Cypriots remained south of the Attila Line, uncertain of their fate. On February 13, 1975, the Turkish Cypriot community declared the Turkish Federated State of Cyprus in the area occupied by Turkish forces. On November 15, 1983, Turkish Cypriots proclaimed their independence as the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. On April 23, 2003, the Ledra Palace crossing was opened through the Green Line, the first time that crossing was allowed since 1974. This was followed by the opening of Iios Domitios Meechan crossing point on May 9, 2003. On April 3, 2008, the Ledra Street crossing was also reopened. The Turkish invasion, the continuous occupation of Cyprus as well as the self-declaration of independence of the TRNC have been condemned by several United Nations resolutions adopted by the General Assembly and the Security Council. The Security Council is reaffirming their condemnation every year. Local government, governance of the metropolitan area. Greater Nicosia is administered by several municipalities. In the center is the city municipality of Nicosia itself. Other municipalities are Strovolos, Lefkoşa, Latsia, Iglonja, Omni, Agios Domitios and the newly formed Untitled. The population of the conurbation is 300,000 of which 100,000 live within the Nicosia municipal area. Because Nicosia Municipality has separate communal municipal administrations, the population of Strovolos is actually the largest of all the local authorities in Greater Nicosia. Within Nicosia Municipality, most of the population resides in the more recently annexed outlying areas of ＫΑΙΜΑΚΛΗ, Paleariotis, Omorphida and Aomaloites. There is no metropolitan authority as such for Greater Nicosia and various roles, responsibilities and functions for the wider area are undertaken by the Nicosia District Administration, bodies such as the Nicosia Water Board and, to some extent, Nicosia Municipality. The Nicosia Water Board supplies water to the following municipalities: Nicosia, Strovolos, Iglonja, Omni, Domitios, Latsia, Untitled. The board consists of 3 persons nominated by the council of each municipality, plus 3 members appointed by the government, who are usually the district officer of Nicosia District, who chairs the board, the accountant general and the director of the water department. The board also supply Anthopoulos indicates, for whom the government provide representatives. Thus the board is in the majority controlled by the municipalities of Greater Nicosia in providing this vital local government service. The Nicosia Sewerage Board is likewise majority controlled by the municipalities of Greater Nicosia. It is chaired ex officio by the mayor of Nicosia and consists of members chosen by the municipalities of Nicosia, Strovolos, Iglonja, Lefkoşa, Domitios, Omni, Latsia. The sewage treatment plant is at Nia. The Nicosia sewerage system serves a population of approximately 140,000 and an area of 20 km2. Approximately 30% of the influent is contributed by the Turkish Cypriot side. Public transport is not controlled by the local authorities, but comes under the Nicosia District Administration, which is an arm of the Ministry of the Interior. Transport services are provided by an agency of the Nicosia District or private companies. Nicosia Municipality. The Nicosia Municipality is responsible for all the municipal duties within the walled city and the immediately adjacent areas. The constitution states that various main government buildings and headquarters must be situated within the Nicosia municipal boundaries. However, separate municipalities are prescribed by the constitution for in the 5 largest towns, including Nicosia, and in the case of Nicosia the separate administration was established in 1958. The Turkish Municipal Committees Law, 1959 established a municipal authority run by a Turkish Municipal Committee, defined as the body of persons set up on or after the 1st day of July, 1958, in the towns of Nicosia, Limassol, Famagusta, Larnaca and Paphos by the Turkish inhabitants thereof for the purpose of performing municipal functions within the municipal limits of such towns. The Nicosia Turkish Municipality, founded in 1958, carries out municipal duties in the northern and northwestern part of city. The remaining areas, in the south and east of the city, are administered by Nicosia Municipality. According to the Constitution of Cyprus, Nicosia Municipality was divided into a Greek and Turkish sector with 2 mayors, a representative of the Greek community which was the majority, and a second one representing the Turkish community. The mayors and the members of the council were appointed by the President of the Republic. Since 1986, the mayors and members of the council are elected. The mayor and the municipal councillors are elected by direct popular suffrage but into separate ballots, one for the mayor and the other for all the councillors. Municipal elections are held every 5 years. The municipality of Nicosia is now headed by the mayor, who is Konstantinos Ioannidis, supported by Democratic Rally and Democratic Party, and the council composed of 26 councillors, one of who is deputy mayor. The mayor and the councillors exercise all the powers vested in them by the Municipal Corporation Law. Subcommittees consisting of members of the Municipal Council act only on an advisory level and according to the procedures and regulations issued by the council. The mayor is the executive authority of the municipality, exercising overall control and managing the municipal council. The council is responsible for appointing personnel employed by the municipality. All municipalities in the Republic of Cyprus are members of the Union of Cyprus Municipalities. The Executive Committee is the governing organ of the Union. This committee is appointed from among the representatives of the municipalities for a term of 2.5 years. The Mayor of Nicosia is the President of the Union and the Chairman of the Executive Committee. Nicosia Turkish Municipality. The first attempt to establish a Nicosia Turkish municipality was made in 1958. In October 1959, the British colonial administration passed the Turkish Municipality Committees Law. In 1960, with the Declaration of Independence of Cyprus, the Constitution of the Republic of Cyprus gave Turkish Cypriots the right to establish their own municipality. As negotiations between the two sides to establish separate municipalities failed in 1962, implementing legislation was never passed. Since the complete division of Nicosia following the Turkish invasion in 1974, the Nicosia Turkish Municipality has become the de facto local authority of northern Nicosia. The Nicosia Turkish Municipality is a member of the Union of Cyprus Turkish Municipalities. The current mayor is Kadri Felohu from Republican Turkish Party Semel Metin Bilitoğlu ±. Other municipalities in Greater Nicosia. Until 1986 there were no suburban municipalities. Then, following the procedures in the Municipal Law 111/1985, Strovolos, Omni, Domitios, Iglonja, Latia and Larkatamia were erected into municipalities. Each municipal council has the number of members described in the Municipal Law 111/1985 depending on the population figures. All members of the council are elected directly by the people for a period of 5 years. Administrative divisions and demographics. Nicosia within the city limits is divided into 29 administrative units, according to the latest census. This unit is termed in English as quarter, neighborhood, parish, enoria or mahalla. These units are, Iios Andreas, Tripiotis, Mebthane, Tabarklane, Fanor Omni, Iios Savas, Amori, Iios Antonios, St. John, Tartel Kale, Trisiliniotissa, Iios Cassianos, Cor Macleay, Panaria, St. Constantine and Helen, Iio Omaloites, Arab Ahmet, Yeni Jami, Omorfida, Ibrahim Pasha, Mahmut Pasha, Abu Kavak, St. Luke, Abdi Chavish, Iplik Paza and Korkut Effendi, İİA-SEE-ə, Haydar Pasha, Karamanzad, and Nepali. Some of these units were previously independent communities. Iio Omaloites was annexed in 1944, while Cor Macleay and Omorfida were annexed in 1968. Paluriotissa, also annexed in 1968, was subsequently divided into the neighborhoods of Panaria, and St. Constantine and Helen. The municipality of Strovolos, established in 1986, is the second-largest municipal authority in Cyprus in terms of population after Limassol and encompasses the southern suburbs of the capital immediately adjacent to Nicosia Municipality. Strovolos is divided into 6 parishes: Chryseliaza, Iios Demetrios, Apostle Barnabas and Iios Makarios, Iios Vasilios, Kyprianos and Stavros. Beyond Strovolos on the southwestern fringes of the metropolis lies the municipality of Lefkoşa, created in 1986 out of the 2 communities of Lower Lefkoşa and Upper Lefkoşa. After being declared a municipality, Lefkoşa was, for administrative purposes, divided into the following 4 parishes: Iia Paraskevias, St. Nicholas, Iios Mamas, Archangel and Tharpolis. Contrary to other municipalities, Lefkoşa municipality has its own water supply. It has jurisdiction over the water supply and sees to the construction, maintenance and functioning of water supply systems within its boundaries. South of Strovolos lies the municipality of Latsia, established in 1986. Latsia is divided into 3 parishes: St. George, Iios Elferios and Archangel Michael. East of Latsia lies Yeri, which became a municipality in 2011. The built-up area of Yeri just touches Latsia near their mutual boundary, and thus the new municipality is conurbated with Nicosia. The municipality of Aglonja, established in 1986, encompasses the southeastern suburbs of the capital immediately adjacent to Nicosia Municipality. The Nicosia-Limassol Highway forms the boundary with Strovolos to the west. The name of the municipality has various spellings, but derives from the Turkish word eğlence, entertainment. The older English spelling is Eğlence. The western suburbs are encompassed in the municipalities of Iios Domitios and Omni, both established in 1986. The municipality of Iios Domitios is divided into the parishes of St. George and St. Paul. The town of Gounieli, Gounieli or Kyaneli, is now conurbated with the northern suburbs. Previously a village authority, it now functions as a municipality within the same area. Gounieli is divided into the neighborhoods of Barrage, an area plus or minus, Baz and Yeni Kent. The suburbs immediately to the north of the city have not been erected into municipalities. The village authority of Hamid Mandas continued to exist until September 1, 2008. When it was included within the borders of Nicosia Turkish municipality and is now functioning as a Nicosia neighborhood headed by a Mukhtari. Ortaköy village authority has similarly been redefined as a neighborhood of Nicosia Turkish municipality. After the invasion, the inhabitants of Miamilia were displaced to other parts of Cyprus together with their village council, which continues to operate in exile, although the Nicosia Turkish municipality considers it one of its neighborhoods. The ethnically mixed village of Trakonas has suffered several displacements of both its Greek and Turkish Cypriot inhabitants since the 1960s, and since the invasion has been heavily urbanized. It does not currently function as a local government unit. The settlement of Anthopolis is an enclave created within Lefkoşa after the invasion of 1974 and is directly administered by the government and not the municipality within which it is situated. Culture, museums. The Cyprus Archaeological Museum in Nicosia is the biggest archaeological museum in the country. It is home to the richest and largest collection of Cypriot antiques in the world. These consist exclusively of objects discovered on the island. The exhibits have been stored in the same building outside the city walls of Nicosia ever since the establishment of the museum in 1882 by the British administration reigning the island at that time. The Ethnographic Museum of Cyprus hosts the largest collection of ethnographic artifacts in the country, which includes costumes, pottery, lace, metalwork, wood carving and paintings. In Old Nicosia, the Ethnological Museum is the most important example of urban architecture of the last century of Ottoman domination which survives in Old Nicosia. Today, the mansion, which was awarded the Europa Nostra Prize for its exemplary renovation work, functions as a museum where a collection of artifacts from the Byzantine, medieval and Ottoman era are displayed. Other museums in Nicosia include the Cyprus Museum of Natural History. Performing Arts. Nicosia offers a wide variety of musical and theatrical events, organized either by the municipality or independent organizations. The Cyprus Symphony Orchestra, established in 1987, is based in Nicosia. The orchestra, whose main sponsor is the Cyprus government, presents symphonic performances for audiences of all ages, promoting knowledge and cultivating appreciation for classical music. In addition to symphonic concerts, the CSO actively engages in educational and outreach programs, as well as other cultural activities all over Cyprus. Its artistic director and chief conductor is Maestro Orkis Boltas. THOC was founded in 1971 and is a member of the European Theatre Convention. It hosts a wide variety of theatre shows on a regular basis at the Latsia Municipal Theatre, NIK-ə-SEE-ə and Theatroina. Skali Aglantsias is a multifunctional space in the Skali area of Aglantsia. It is made up of an open-air square, amphitheatre, exhibition space, restaurant and bar. It hosts many shows, concerts and cultural events. The Satirical Theatre of Cyprus was founded in October 1983 by actor and director Vladimiros Kefkaridis. It is the first free theatre to be supported financially by the government. It is also the only drama school in Cyprus. Strovolos Municipal Theatre is located in the municipality's main avenue. It has hosted many charitable, cultural and educational events, as well as theatre shows, concerts, operas and ballets. Cultural events are also hosted by the Amachostos Gate Cultural Centre, the Municipal Arts Centre, the Municipal Centre of Contemporary Social and Cultural Services and others. In June 2011, Nicosia launched its campaign to become the European Capital of Culture for 2017. Education. Nicosia has a large student community as it is the seat of 8 universities, the University of Cyprus, the University of Nicosia, the European University Cyprus, the Open University of Cyprus, Frederick University, Near East University, the University of Mediterranean Carpathia and Cyprus International University. Economy. Nicosia is the financial and business heart of Cyprus. The city hosts the headquarters of all Cypriot banks, namely Cyprus Popular Bank, Bank of Cyprus, the Hellenic Bank. Further, the Central Bank of Cyprus is located in the Acropolis area of the Cypriot capital. A number of international businesses base their Cypriot headquarters in Nicosia, such as the Big Four audit firms PwC, Deloitte, KPMG and Ernst & Young. International technology companies such as NIK-ə-SEE-ə and TSYS have their regional headquarters in Nicosia. The city is also home to local financial newspapers such as the Financial Mirror and Stockwatch. Cyprus Airways has its head offices in the entrance of Mesaoria Avenue. According to a recent UBS survey in August 2011, Nicosia is the wealthiest per capita city of the Eastern Mediterranean and the 10th richest city in the world by purchasing power in 2011. Climate. Nicosia has a subtropical hot semi-arid climate with long, hot and dry summers. Most of the rainfall occurs in winter. Another chart with cooler temperatures. Transportation. Nicosia is linked with other major cities in Cyprus via a modern motorway network. The A1 connects Nicosia with Limassol in the south, with the A6 going from Limassol onto Paphos. The A2 links Nicosia with the southeastern city of Larnaca, with the A3 going from Larnaca to Ayia The A9 connects Nicosia to the West Nicosia district villages in the Troodos Mountains. Public transport within the city is currently served by a new and reliable bus service. Bus services in Nicosia are run by OSEL. In the northern part, the Company of Litau provides this service. Many taxi companies operate in Nicosia. Fares are regulated by law and taxi drivers are obliged to use a taxiometer. In 2010, as part of the Nicosia Integrated Mobility Plan, a pre-feasibility study for a proposed tram network has taken place and sponsored by the Ministry of Communications and Works. The study compared two scenarios, with and without the operation of a tramway in terms of emitted polluting loads. The study realized that the reduction in the pollutants per transported passenger for the scenario with tramway fluctuates from €5–10% and reaches up to 90% specifically in the central roads of Nicosia. In 2011, the Nicosia Municipality introduced the Bike in Action scheme, a bicycle sharing system which covers the greater Nicosia area. The scheme is run by the Inter-Municipal Bicycle Company of Nicosia. While the bike lane network is being upgraded, the scheme aims to serve a large portion of the population, university students and tourist groups in their movement to and from downtown. The scheme has 27 docking stations spread across 7 municipalities and involves 315 bikes which people can borrow from any designated station and return to any other station of their choosing. Specifically, the Nicosia Municipality has installed 100 bikes in 5 stations, the Ithnological Municipality 50 bikes at 4 stations, the Municipality of Strovolos 80 bikes at 8 stations, the Municipality of Dali 20 cycles at 3 stations, the Municipality of Iaios Domitios 20 cycles at 2 stations, the Municipality of Latsia 15 bikes at 2 stations and the Municipality of Omni 30 cycles at 3 stations. People do not have to register to use the bikes as long as they have a credit or debit card in order to pay a 150 security deposit. The deposit is paid back within 24 hours of returning the bike. There is currently no train network in Cyprus, however plans for the creation of an intercity railway are currently underway. The first railway line on the island was the Cyprus Government Railway which operated from 1905 to 1951. There were 39 stations, stops and halts, the most prominent of which served for Margista, Prastio Mesaoria, Angostina, Trapani, Nicosia, Kokina Trimothea, Morphog, Carlo Corio and Avrichou. It was closed down due to financial reasons. Mayors of Nicosia, pre-independence, Christodoulos Severus, November 15, 1882 July 31, 1888. Achilles Liasides, August 1, 1888 April 10, 1906. Antonios Theodotou, January 8, 1888 April 10, 1906. Mehmet Angstrom Bay, April 11, 1908 March 31, 1911. Antonios Theodotou, 1924 26, George Markides, April 6, 1926 March 31, 1929. Themistoklis Dervis, April 5, 1929 September 28, 1946. Ioannis Clarides, June 1, 1946 May 31, 1949. Themistoklis Dervis, June 1, 1949 December 18, 1959. Post-independence, Diomedes Sketos, 1959 60. George M. Spinoz, 1960 62. 1963 64. Odysseus Iowa Needs, 1964 70. Lelos Demetades, December 1971 July 1974, after 1974. Christophoros Kythriotis, August 1974, Lelos Demetades, October 1974 2001, Michalis Sampilas, 2002 06, Eleni Mavru, 2007 11, Konstantinos Ioannidis, 2011 present. Sports. Football. Football is the most popular sport in Cyprus, and Nicosia is home of 3 major teams of the island. Apoel, Omonia and Olympiakos. Apoel and Omonia dominate Cypriot football. There are also many other football clubs in Nicosia and the suburbs. Nicosia is also home to Ararat FC, the island's only Armenian FC. Other sports. Nicosia is also the home for many clubs for basketball, handball and other sports. Apoel and Omonia have basketball and volleyball sections, and Kravnos is one of the major basketball teams of the island. The gymnastic club Cypriot, the owner of the NIK-ə-SEE-ə Stadium, is one of the major athletics clubs of the island. Also, all teams in the futsal first division are from Nicosia. Venues. Nicosia has some of the biggest venues in the island. The NIK-ə-SEE-ə Stadium, the biggest in Cyprus, with capacity of 23,400, is the home for the national team, Apoel, Olympiacos and Omonia. The other big football stadium in Nicosia is Mesaoria Stadium with capacity of 16,000. The Eleftheria Indoor Hall is the biggest basketball stadium in Cyprus, with capacity of 6,500 seats, and is the home for the national team, Apoel and Omonia. The Lefkoşa Indoor Arena is the volleyball stadium for Apoel and Omonia. International and European events. Nicosia hosted the 2000 ISSF World Cup final shooting events for the shotgun. Also, the city hosted 2 basketball events: the European Supporter Cup in 1997 and the 2005 FIBA Europe All-Star Game in the Eleftheria Indoor Hall. Another event which was hosted in Nicosia were the Games of the Small States of Europe in 1989 and 2009. Famous Nicosians. Glafkos Clerides, President of the Republic of Cyprus. Ka ± Bra ± Slat ± Mehmed Kamal Pasha, Grand Vizier of the Ottoman Empire. Fazar ± Elkar 1/4 Apicavolt 1/4 K, former Vice President of the Republic of Cyprus. Marios Garoyan, former President of the House of Representatives Republic of Cyprus, President of Democratic Party since 2006. Michaelis Hatzigiannis, singer. Manik Parikian, 1920–1987, a top-ranking world-class concert violinist and violin professor in the United Kingdom, with numerous concerts and recordings. Peter I of Cyprus, King of Cyprus. Benon Savan, Assistant Secretary-General of the United Nations and the head of the Oil for Food Programme, Diems, French rap singer. Hazar Ergülü, actress on the Turkish drama, Mesaoria. Christopher A. Pissarides, Nobel Prize winner in economics. Suat Gar 1/4 NSEL, entrepreneur, businessman and founder of the Near East University. Kutlu Adali, journalist, poet and socio-political researcher and peace advocate. Mustafa Jamgoz, professor of cancer biology at Imperial College London and chairman of the College of Medicine Unregistered Trademark Science Council. Neoklis Karaizis, historian and member of the National Council of Cyprus. Nikos Tournaritis, politician and jurist, member of the Cyprus Parliament and consultant of the Republic of Kenya. Konstantinos Ioannidis, mayor of Nicosia since December of 2011. Tassos Papadopoulos, president of the Republic of Cyprus. Mick Khan, musician, bassist of the art rock new wave band Japan. International relations, twin towns and sister cities, twinnings, collaborations, gallery. See also: North Nicosia, list of divided cities, United Nations Peacekeeping Force in Cyprus, references. Nicosia Municipality website, Nicosia Municipality website, Nicosia Municipality website. A Euro transportation, Cyprus Island. A Euro Nicosia, the World of Cyprus bilingual information portal with background on folk culture and Byzantine influences. External links, English language website for Municipality of Nicosia, Nicosia travel guide from Wiki Voyage, Nicosia in dark and white. A photo project about the city's old abandoned buildings, organizational structure of Islamic religion in Cyprus. Echoes Across the Divide is a documentary film about an attempt to bridge the Green Line with a bicommunal music project performed from the rooftops of Old Nicosia.